Entrepreneurs solve problems, and the best entrepreneurs solve big systemic problems. But there are some problems, pretty fundamental ones, that aren't going to be solved by commercial businesses. Today, 25,000 people will die of hunger, more than 10,000 of them children. 123 million people are forcibly displaced right now. That's up 50% since the end of 2020. 1 billion people will suffer from a neglected tropical disease this year, and more than 800 million people are living in extreme poverty. That's on less than $3 a day right now. But why am I telling you this, and what can a room full of people who are busy building businesses do about it? Maybe we could launch a CSR initiative. You might recognize the man on the right here as Blake from Tom's Shoes. Tom's CSR initiative started life as a one-for-one program. You buy a pair of shoes, they give a pair of shoes to someone in a low-income country. It sounds good, right? Except when the team went back to evaluate their program, they discovered that there had been no effect on shoe ownership, health, or self-esteem. No improvement. In fact, they'd actually had a negative impact. Great as shoes are, that is not what these communities needed. You can't eat shoes. Tom's learned that it's actually really hard to implement programs well. So unless you're really big, think Salesforce, Patagonia, and prepared to throw a ton of resource behind this, this likely isn't the most effective option for you. So maybe we have our employees volunteer. I want you to think about the last intern that you had in your office. And now I want you to imagine that they come in for 1 or 2 days a quarter, and each time you have to re-onboard them again. Put yourself in the charity shoes. Is that really the most effective use of anyone's time? You're running a commercial business. Keep the main thing the main thing. So maybe we donate to charity. But does it matter which charities we donate to? You'll have seen a chart that looks quite similar to this, showing a distribution of startup success. The difference here is that this shows charities, and rather than valuations, we're looking at the amount of impact that they can have for $1,000, measured using a metric called a DALI. You can think of a DALI as an additional year of healthy life. The organizations on the left-hand side of this chart provide no additional years of healthy life for $1,000. Those on the right, more than 300. It should be clear to all of us that the organizations we want to donate to are the ones on the right. But if we pick a charity at random, or if we even do a little bit of research, we have more than a 90% chance of ending up in the bottom 50%. So we don't just want to donate to charity, we want to donate to the very best charities. There are more than 10,000 charities in the world. We're looking for a needle in a haystack. At Founders Pledge, we take a similar approach to this that you might take to making decisions about your business. We follow the data. We start off by looking at the cause area. We look for big problems where we think we can move the needle and that are comparatively neglected by other funders. And that neglect piece is important. On the left-hand side here, the 2 circles represent the comparative global health burden of mental health and HIV in low-income countries. On the right, you're looking at global spending on these 2 issue areas. This is measured again in DALIs. And you'll see that mental health costs us more than twice as many DALIs in low-income countries as HIV does. However, spending on mental health is 50 times less. If we want to have an impact on the margin, neglect matters. So once we've chosen our cause area, we look at the interventions, the different solutions that we think might have an impact in this area. And again, this really matters. This chart is showing you the cost effectiveness, measured again in DALIs, of 5 different health interventions for HIV. The first is education for high-risk groups. The one at the bottom is surgical intervention for a rare condition called Kaposi sarcoma. What this is showing you is that the most effective interventions are not just a little bit more effective, they are orders of magnitude more effective. It's only once we've been through this process that we then start to look at the individual organizations. We assess the strengths, the weaknesses. We filter down to the most effective funding opportunities in any given area. But who are we and why are we doing this? So Founders Pledge is a global nonprofit empowering entrepreneurs to do the most good possible with their charitable giving. Our members include a bunch of big household names you'll be familiar with. You've just heard from Natasha at 12, and last night you heard from Anton at Lovable, both Founders Pledge members. This is the Founders part. And this is the Pledge part. Members join Founders Pledge by making a basic conditional commitment. If I make money selling my business, then, and only then, I'll donate a percentage to the charities of my choice. To date, 1.6 billion has been donated by our members. 2,150 entrepreneurs in 49 different countries have pledged 12 billion to charity. And as for the part we play, it's our role to make sure that by the time our members are ready to start giving, they're truly empowered change makers who are able to drive real-world impact at scale. As well as doing deep charity research, we also provide them with opportunities to connect with a community of peers on the same journey, a network of experts, and provide the infrastructure that they need in order to be able to give effectively, including a donor-advised fund. We don't take cuts, we don't take commissions, we don't charge membership fees. It doesn't cost a penny to join Founders Pledge. This is a quote from one of our members, Tava Henricus, on the value that he's seen from working with Founders Pledge. So whether you're just starting out, whether you're approaching an exit, whether you're past an exit, I want you to ask yourself a question. In a world where you have limited resources, how can you do the most good possible? I'm standing in a room filled with truly exceptional individuals who collectively have the power to create incredible change when they have success, and this should be the norm. You have power. Use it. And if you think that there's a role that Founders Pledge can play in helping you to achieve that, then we want to hear from you. Thank you.